Hey, my name is Joe,
And I'm Mary Beth.
and this is the best of Gen X.
We are in our 40s.
And we're siblings,
We'll talk about adulting in a world so different from the one we grew up in,
so excuse us while we save a generation.
one episode at a time.
Let's go.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Mary Beth.
How are you?
My favorite basketball team just lost. I'm in a foul mood.
I came over and the game was on, and we're trying to get set up, trying to figure things out, get things organized, and you're cussing under your breath as we do it.
Yeah.
And I keep going, what's wrong? Because I thought he was like, do you have a problem? Do you have a problem with my idea? What?
I had that scowl on my face as I was trying to adjust the equipment that we're using. Dying inside.
When is the season over?
Typically, March Madness is like the
Oh,
NCAA
right.
tournament.
Oh,
so.
I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, so the conference stuff will end the end of February, early March, and then they'll start the tournaments.
Well, I'm sorry that you lost.
You don't really care.
I do care.
You're an alumni.
I am.
You should care.
I do. It bothers me.
Yeah, really bothers me, especially since I decided to rock the jersey today and the school socks.
But hey, you know what? You win some, you lose some.
We lose a lot, Mary Beth.
Well, not this week.
If you followed enough, we lose a lot.
Not this week, man.
Oh, really?
Been a lot of winning.
A lot of winning? Yeah. You're enjoying a lot of winning?
We're going to talk about it.
Let's do it.
Navy had a birthday.
She did, thank you. My lovely daughter just turned 18 yesterday. She's so special. It's her special day, and I'm really excited for her. She's grown into a beautiful young woman. She's always been super easy to raise. She is about as even keel as a kid as you'll ever meet for the most part. And yeah,
Pretty motivated girl.
pretty motivated. She's entrepreneurial in spirit, which I love because I really wasn't. I think I've gotten more so as I've gotten older, but she already had it. I mean, I would never do the stuff that she was doing at 17 business-wise, but she's great. Easy to talk to, easy to have like a serious conversation, but also easy to goof around with. So yeah, I'm very proud of her.
Yeah.
She's a blessing. She's a blessing to us all.
Ditto to all those things.
Yep.
Happy birthday to her. So now you have an 18-year-old and an almost 20-year-old.
Yes, he'll be 20 in a few weeks. But as a Gen Xer, and we're going to talk about some of this later, but I want to use this term, Mary Beth, because I think it's appropriate. She's just a rad girl.
Rad.
She's a rad chick.
Yes.
Yeah, very proud. Thank you for calling that out.
Sure. That's not the only reason. It was a winning week. Mm-hmm. But you're upset because you lost, and it sucks to lose.
I don't know why I'm upset there. I'm used to it. But go ahead.
But it still sucks, right? Mm-hmm. So we know what that feels like. About 4 years ago, we felt that same sort of heaviness, that sense of defeat. And but we took it like champs.
We did.
You know, we accepted things. People right now, not so much.
Not taking it well, huh?
It's been a big week, right? And people are feeling some kind of way, and we understand. And so today's episode is our official call to unity. UNITY. Remember that?
Queen Latifah.
Queen.
Mary Beth.
The Queen.
Did you just ask me if I remember that? UNITY. That spells unity.
I could spend an entire episode telling how much I love her and why. Like, as a fan of Living Single, Khadijah.
Yes, I know that song.
Khadijah
you
is
nerd.
legit. But anyway, it's our call to unity. But first, we're gonna have to make fun of some of you a little bit.
All you people in your field, we coming after you.
Actually, we're going to be calling out the losers and the winners because making fun of everyone equally is the American way.
It's only fair and balanced.
It's the American way. And our Gen X listeners can handle it because we are a resilient people.
We are a resilient folk, as we've talked about in prior episodes.
However,
latchkey kids.
The resilience this week, I'm not seeing it from my Gen X friends. People are having a hard time. This is like the cope, dude, is strong. Like there is some hardcore coping going on. And I don't know how much you're on social media. I'm not that much.
More so on the Twitter X side
for sure.
Than I am the Book of Faces. I've been off that for about 3 years.
And when I'm on Twitter or X, I am interacting with total strangers and following a lot of like independent journalists and things like that.
I sometimes like that better, by the way.
I do. I like it much better.
That's why I kind of quote unquote live on there more than I do the other stuff.
Well, that's, we have before in our podcast, we have made fun of the book. And it deserves it. Okay. Because it is just a different environment.
It's very, very toxic.
It's very. Right on. Props to you.
Toxic. Yeah.
Props to you for that. The paper is very toxic. But Facebook for sure is, and I've kind of avoided it this week because I was having a good time, and I was really taking it all in and just enjoying it. And I knew if I hopped on there, and I'm only on there once or twice a day just to clear notifications because I'm one of those.
Sure you are.
Well, you know how there are two kinds of people in this world.
I know you're going to say the inbox thing. Like,
yes.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I have a clean inbox.
As do I.
If you opened up my husband's mail app on his phone, you'd see 4,000 unread emails. And so I get on there just to clear notifications and make sure I didn't miss any important messages, whatever. But every once in a while, you can't help but scroll just for a minute. I'm really good about stopping myself after like 2 minutes tops. It's just like, yep, it's still a den of dumb.
Yeah.
It's a den of dumb.
Yeah, I start getting like the sweats and like the tinglies, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm out. Hey, like the dealers.
Triggered.
Hey, I'm out.
I'm like, I can't with y'all.
Yeah. Oh, but the inbox thing,
This foolishness.
Hey, but the inbox thing, I do want to tell you, I go above and I go one step beyond that. I make sure my inbox is cleared, and then I go to my junk and clear it out, and then I go to my deleted and clear those out. I can't.
It's as if we have the same DNA.
I can't deal.
I can't either. I do the same thing.
It's got to go away. It's important.
Taking out the trash, like Trump's been doing all week. Oh!
Hey, Beth. Bazinga.
Bazinga.
Well done.
So, yeah, okay. So, at a national level, the left's temper tantrum is on full blast, right? It looks to me much like it was for his first term, with a few differences, like notable differences. I would say, like, public and political figures from the left have sort of extended an olive branch, so to speak, willing to cross the aisle, have visited Mar-a-Lago before this week or whatever, had conversations. Like Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania, went to Mar-a-Lago, I believe.
I wonder if he wore a Carhartt hoodie.
I believe he did.
Swim trunks.
Yes.
I think he rocked that at the inauguration. Not the trunks part, but the hoodie. His signature.
I was going to bring that up, actually.
Oh. Lo siento.
But I know that President Trump invited New York Mayor Eric Adams.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Mark Zuckerberg, of course, we talked about. And then Joe and Mika even, which was a big surprise, but they got a lot of backlash.
They got heat. They got heat about that.
Tons of heat. And I'm not saying that any of these meetings will amount to any lasting, strong unity across the aisle.
Sure.
But I do want to point out that any such interaction like that in his first term would have been a cancelable offense.
Oh, 100%.
So that kind of stuff gives me hope. And it does feel much different this time in that respect. But much closer to home. Oh, wait, you interrupted me for a second. You had something to say.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say, because I was literally about to bring up Mayor Adams until you brought him up. And I was going to say, I guess where you're kind of going with it was, I've noticed in the last couple months even before the election, that he's kind of had like this little bit of a shift in his tolerance of his own people's or parties stance on certain things, and not even that, just like responses and reactions to things. It's almost like he woke up one day and he's like, well, you know what? This is kind of silly. We shouldn't think like that. We shouldn't respond to things this way. We should treat this with kid gloves, or we should, whatever. And he's really came out publicly and made me kind of like cock my head to the side and be like, is that really him saying that?
Yeah,
About the immigration stuff and like how it was kind of overrun in New York City. And
I kind of like him.
Yeah, he's growing on me a little bit. So that the fact that he was there doesn't surprise me. In fact, I mean,
yeah, he seems like a good dude, and he seems to be one of the few on the left right now, at least in terms of politicians, who is sort of hugging the common sense theme.
yeah, exactly. I was going to say common sense, so you took it right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yep.
But much closer to home. So I'm noticing a very familiar kind of behavior from my friends on the left on social media. Mm-hmm. My favorite copes of the week, and should we explain what I mean by cope?
I would, because you and I talked about it, and I think their clarity is important. Yes.
Well, cope is one of the current, I don't know, the trends on social media come and go so quickly. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this one's died yet, but people say cope harder when someone is triggered and, crying about this, that, and the other,
It's
hair
like a
on
deal
fire.
with it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah. So people are choosing to hop on the book and cope by venting.
I like how you say the book.
venting their big feels. And my favorite ones of the week that I want to talk about, they would play like the greatest hits album from a group called My Dystopian Nightmare.
Nice.
Because they're very reminiscent of the golden oldies from the 2016 through 2020 era when everyone's hair was on fire, about that. Mm-hmm. So I have narrowed down like 5 of my favorite copes.
Oh, this has to be good.
And I was on the book for a very short time just to get a sense of, just trying to feel the room, read
Doing
the
your
room.
research.
I was doing my research.
Yeah. It was a research project.
I was reading the room.
Just so everybody knows, our podcast, Mary Beth, is the R&D. She's the research and development person.
That is true. That is true. I come with notes. Yeah. I come with receipts.
I'm just receipts. I'm just here for the fellowship.
Oh, we didn't even talk about our new locale.
And the studio space, shall we?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a brief...
Let's break.
Yeah, let's take a brief break. So, I have finally assembled or created this man cave space in my house, and the people that have been here have said, well, why do you need a bourbon room and a man cave? I said, because the bourbon room is a vibe. It's a Harvey Specter, let's have a bourbon, let's listen to some old Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder or Beatles records, and let's just chill. Let's eat some peanuts out of the bowl, and let's just talk life.
Yeah.
The man cave is just simply grab a beer, hit it over your forehead, watch a football game, watch a basketball game, and it's all sports memorabilia. So I got my favorite Cubs stuff on one wall, I got my favorite IU stuff on another, and I have my golf stuff on one. And we finally have a space where we can hook up these boom mics and just kind of just sit here and relax.
Right, because we're normally at your kitchen table, and you have an open concept home on your first level. And I've always told you that, because we started out in Mom and Dad's kitchen. It's kind of same idea.
It's been a journey.
Open concept, hardwood floors in both cases.
Yeah, the acoustics are a little
I've always
challenging.
said that it does make the sound quality a little bit different, and that we should eventually try to find a space that is small, not high ceilings, carpeted. That's going to be your more ideal. And our mics are further apart. You're in a recliner.
I know.
I'm on a cozy love seat.
And I'm even in like a swiveling chair recliner,
Right.
and I'm just so comfortable right now.
It's very comfortable, and this is our first time being able to do that, so it feels good.
I'm excited. And then if we ever do video versions, you get to see us just kind of relax. What?
I'm laughing because I'm imagining people listening going, what the hell do I need to see you for?
You never know.
Who wants to see us?
You never know.
But
I might be having a good hair day.
But anyone who, if you've ever looked into starting a podcast and read up on what works best, it's all video. Video is key. And so I feel like that day's coming, bro.
Yeah, I do too.
But it's going to take a lot more time.
This is just the start of it.
The editing. But anyway.
Yeah, but anyway. Anywho.
All right, so...
And we are back.
And we're back. 5 copes. I'm going to start with my first one.
I can't wait.
Oh, this comes from the fire crowd.
Fire.
Yeah, exactly. Nod to Overboard, one of the greatest 80s movies of all time.
That's right.
These are people who post every day, often several times a day, to fill us in on the most up-to-the-minute reasons we should all be running for our lives in a panic frenzy. And to them, I only have two questions. How the hell are you on Facebook all day, and where can I sign up for that job?
Yeah, I've often wondered that, how they do that.
Like
It
several
can
times
be,
a day.
and it's people with like kids and stuff a lot of times. Like, how can you be effective? It's almost like they have to get on their phone, go to the app, hit the post button for every single thought that they have throughout the whole day.
But it's like it's like on speed
Right.
because of what's happened this week.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So this is obviously inauguration week. So that's why I have said the cope is super hard right now. And the fire crowd is just relentlessly, feverishly posting like every couple hours about the latest thing that he said or did that is going to make the world blow up. And
we'll call them the 4-alarm crew.
Send them to California.
Yeah.
They need some help over there. So that one amuses me. And I also, to be fair, my heart goes out to the person who is genuinely panicked and feeling the need to like inform the public.
Can you imagine
about all the reasons we should be panicked as well?
But like, regardless of which way you lie on the fence, can you imagine like being that panicked?
No.
I mean, I've had some presidents that I have just been
sick
to my stomach about, just in general. But like, I've never panicked about it.
Right. Like
never, not once.
That's always in my mind. I'm always thinking like,
how do you get to that point?
How do you come to a point like how? And I guess if I had to guess, I would say that you've been fed a lot of bullshit. That's
so I was going to say
sure.
like propaganda and
yeah, and so you believe everything you've heard from day one. And I personally, first of all, how can someone be the same person for decades and then they put an R in front of their name and run for office and they are the most evil scum of the earth, whatever. Yeah. And it's like, I have just as strong aversions to certain politicians who've been in charge through my lifetime, like super strong, super concerned. Didn't panic me.
No, there's no reason to. Everybody knows that.
Anyway, yeah. I can't relate to that.
Plus, I think the people that post that much in one day about anything, those are the types that are, in my opinion, easily duped.
Right?
They're easily manipulated.
I guess.
So.
Or just bored.
Bored, yeah.
You need purpose, and so yeah. Okay, so the second one, the other cope that caught my eye this week, were the heartfelt prayers being offered from a friend who, like, as far as I can tell, has always been extremely anti-Christian, anti-God, like proudly non-believing sort of character, right? But the heartfelt prayers from that person on behalf of people like me to prevent the eternal damnation of our souls.
Word?
So
word?
I know, that's thoughtful.
You got you some praying anti-prayer warriors. Praying anti-prayer warriors?
Right. Praying to who? I don't know.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I don't know, because they post several times a week throughout the year about how they hate Christians and God.
A lot of good that's doing you.
And ironically enough, these are the same exact people who, when there's a mass shooting, will get on Facebook and feverishly type, "Fuck your thoughts and prayers," right? But they're sending them out now.
Yeah, fuck you having faith in something.
Thank you for the hot thoughts.
I've never really quite understood kind of making fun of someone for having faith in something.
Well,
like, even if it's good or bad, we all typically have faith in something.
I can speak to this one particular person who posted like this, and I saw a couple like this, but one of them has made clear, just over the years that I've been following him on Facebook, that he's been burned. Some people who are raised in a Christian household, I guess they have some sort of spiritual trauma that they are very bitter about. But this one's praying. He's bitter, but he's praying for my soul.
Good on him, then.
Thanks. But fun fact, this person also likes to post ad nauseum about the evils of capitalism, which I always get a kick out of because
he's posting on his iPhone 16.
well, right? Like, here's this miserable do-nothing blaming, like, all of his personal and professional failures on the free market and competition and greedy CEOs, and he's posting his rants on a free worldwide platform from his $1,600 iPhone. It's so cute. It's the most adorable thing.
Adorbs.
Adorbs.
I'm doing the little heart symbol with my hands.
Like, you poor kid. You poor kid.
You know what we call that, Mary Beth? A sports analogy that I know you love. We call that Monday couch. How do we say it? Monday couch quarterbacking or something like that.
Armchair quarterback.
Yeah, there's different ways to say it.
Yeah. I was actually going to talk about that here in a minute.
Okay.
My next favorite type of cope. The vulgar vaginas. This is a club of...
I don't like those.
This is a club of my female Facebook friends who, in the true spirit of sisterhood and empowerment...
I like how you had to clarify female. I got it, Mary Beth. I could have guessed that.
Well, hey, men can have vaginas too.
Hey, not in my world. Go ahead.
Oh, I actually did see a post today about men, like, it was some random meme with this list of scientific explanations for freaks of nature, and forgive me for the word freaks, but like when nature takes a turn in the womb, and so a person can actually be born with X and Y, but still look.
Oh no, that makes sense.
Yes, yes. And here's the best part: the final sentence was, so just remember that God creates all kinds of human creatures, and don't put it in a male and female box. And I was like, it's literally in Genesis, like page 1. God made male and female, he made them.
Yeah, they always want to.
Don't misquote the Lord, please.
Yeah. They always want to like change an entire culture over like a 0.0000031%
Anyway.
occurrence. But okay.
Anyway, but the vulgar vaginas, these are women who, in the true spirit of sisterhood and empowerment, have been sending out vulgar messages and memes to other women for voting wrong. So it's like backwards feminism, where you're like, yes, feminism, women, don't vote against your own interests, and fuck you if you did.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, okay.
Hairy armpits.
Right. So girl power, but don't vote the wrong way. Like, do what you want.
Right.
Because you're a woman.
But
and
conform, please.
And you're strong, and you're powerful, and you have agency, but don't vote the wrong way.
Yeah, conform or else.
Right. It's exactly like the reaction when Hillary Clinton lost. And one of the first things she does out of the gate is to blame women for voting according to what their fathers and husbands told them. There was even one for Kamala Harris. Did you see the one with Julia Roberts and the women going into the voting booth? And she said...
It's ridiculous.
She said, like, that it was literally the only place in America where we can choose what we want.
Yeah, they really, hey, they really can't truthfully believe that stuff. They can't.
But do they or don't they? I don't know. It's just funny.
They almost have to say that kind of stuff at this point because they've gotten themselves into such a corner.
God.
They have to. If they don't believe that way, they have to say it.
Well, it sounds like I need to put my dress and pearls on and my apron and get back in the kitchen.
You should.
But anyway, my favorite one was an image of a little girl with messy hair, and she's flipping the bird and has this really, like, this scowl on her face. And it's like, this is to all the women who sold out your own sisters and future generations. And I look at that and I'm amused and puzzled because I'm pretty sure that my vote specifically protects womanhood from being co-opted like a fucking costume that you can just put on. And it protects the unborn from being deprived the chance to be part of the future generation. So, but thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the bird. Okay, so
Right back at you, bitch. My second Office reference.
I know. There you go, 2 for 2. My fourth favorite cope is what I think I'll categorize as the lazy leftist. And these I've mentioned, I think, at least once before. And these have been around since 2016. But the lazy leftist is this person has big feelings about the events of the past week, like most other leftists. Notice I don't say liberals on purpose because they're very illiberal people. But unlike most leftists, their anger has made them like big lazy because they're the ones that insist that I unfriend them for supporting a fascist. Now, we're no stranger, right, to that label. And while the incorrect use of that word and thus the clear misunderstanding of that word tells me you're not a serious person, I know you mean business. I mean, I can just see your finger wagging in the posts.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can hop on over to your friends list, and do it yourself. Like, you do the heavy scrolling, girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm quite content and comfortable. Don't make me have to physically,
you know what?
don't make me put an effort to unfriend you.
I don't like to do what I'm told, just as a general rule, and I sure as fuck don't do what I'm told by people who call me names.
Yeah.
So get on your own friends list, scroll till you find me, and delete me.
Yeah, I'm busy.
Like, I don't get the laziness of
Hey,
it.
I'm busy.
I'm busy.
your damn-
I'm busy winning.
Yeah, do it your damn self. We're too busy celebrating. Go do it yourself. Hey, you clearly have time. You've been on Facebook for 8 hours.
It might be therapeutic.
You've made 30 posts. You've got time.
It might be therapeutic. Get on your friends list and delete yourself. Like, don't consult people. It's like,
Yeah, see, you're trying to offer free therapy.
I know, it's like,
You're actually doing them a solid.
it's like insulting people, and then it's like, hey, you're an asshole. Also, be a dove and hand me that
Yeah.
newspaper so I can hit you over the head
Right,
with
right.
it.
Do this for me. See, Mary Beth, you're so kind.
That's not how it works,
You're
man.
so kind. You're trying to help people.
I am. Free therapy. My fifth one. This is the no to nuance nonsense. The people who don't appreciate any kind of nuance. And I'll explain what I mean. So this kind of cope always comes from a person who speaks with great authority. Like, great authority, right? Their credibility, though, is based on not having any expertise in any particular field of study or profession. They just, or even the wisdom of age, honestly. I see a lot of it from young people. But just by their mere existence, they have great authority on every subject. And one in particular I'll quote, but I've seen so many like this over the years. If you're not against it, then you're for it. All of it. All caps, so they're yelling, right? I will not hear anyone out on any matter, and I will not make exceptions.
Man, that sounds so intellectual.
I know. Like,
That's the kind of person I really feel like I'm going to thrive and learn from. Who is that person so I can... Let me reach out to him.
oh no, that bridge is burned, bro.
Oh.
This
Hey,
is
damn. Hey, damn.
this is a bridge burning kind of
I
cope.
had my chance.
Now, this one, okay. This is like all the examples I've just been giving rolled into one, because I've seen so many variations of the same post over the years, and it reveals what one of the things that they all have in common, which is emotional immaturity. If not a little mental illness mixed in, but definitely emotional immaturity. Now, that might sound harsh, but let me ask you this.
I mean,
I want to ask this person, has anyone you know from the other side ever said something close to the following to you? Your support of the Biden administration's disastrous open border policies have let millions of people pour into our country illegally, and far too often allowed them to repeatedly commit violent crimes against our citizens without repercussion. Why do you support violence against me and my family? Why do you support my daughter being sexually assaulted? I've lost friends to fentanyl overdoses. No joke. Why do you support the death of my friends? I mean, you voted for it, so clearly you're fine with it, right? All of it. And don't tell me otherwise. No, I can answer that. No, you haven't.
No,
you haven't.
I'm not on the book, but on the other platforms, I've never seen one
You don't see that from
Never,
people on the right.
Not one. Never. Not one.
Because we're grown-ups, right? Like, only children are allowed to think and behave in such binary terms and get away with it.
Yeah,
But you're a grown-up.
I hate to like do the broad brush thing, but they can tend to be petulant about stuff like that. And they,
I mean, we have a two-party system, basically. I mean, we have
we
the
do.
other candidates, whatever.
And
but
no third party's ever going to win the presidency.
I mean,
ever, ever, ever.
I'm
So yes, we
I'm
are.
open to the conversation about restructuring it, right? I'm open to that because there is that lesser of two evils thing with the two-party system. You honestly think, a grown-up now, you honestly think that every person who votes for a candidate is responsible for or loves every single thing that person says and does in a 4-year term or an 8-year term? Really? Really? If you do, then you don't call balls and strikes. And you're not a serious person.
Look at you with the sports ball reference.
Right? Thank you.
Man,
Thanks.
the growth of you since we've started is just uncanny.
But I just think that kind of thinking, you belong at the intellectual kiddie table.
That's a great way to put it, honestly.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, while the adults are over there having Thanksgiving in the adult dining room.
Right.
Yeah, you're in the little card
You
table.
need to-
You're on the card table eating macaroni and cheese
With the little ones.
with a juice box.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, honestly, you and I listen to a lot of podcasts, some political, some not. The political ones on the farthest of right, even there's plenty of times I've listened where they've disagreed with the people that they supported. I've heard it. I've listened to it.
Exactly.
So
I prefer to listen to people
you have to.
I prefer to listen to people who call balls and strikes.
Yeah.
Those people have more credibility.
Those are the kind, like my point earlier, is like those are the kinds that you learn and grow from.
Yeah. For the record, a long time ago when Trump was the first one to bring up the TikTok ban, I did not like it. Didn't think it was a good idea. In fact, well, it's funny because he's the one who brings it up because I mean I get the security concerns, the data concerns. That to me, we're already screwed. You know what I mean? Like
we're pretty far gone.
We're pretty far gone with that whole thing. But I get the concern, and especially since no, the Chinese government doesn't own it, but it does control it. I'm concerned that the Chinese government will try to suppress content from Americans. I mean, if you're in the Chinese government, do you want Americans to be smart or dumb? Do you want them to know the truth or not? So if you're able to control this company, and I mean, they control it in China. They have their version of TikTok. It's like the original, but it's highly censored, like no dissent of any kind, especially no political dissent. Like that's the country they live in. That's not us. And so that's a concern for me. However, I understand that our laws have not caught up to the technology. These platforms are the Times Square or the town.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
Town Square. This is where conversations are happening. This is where information is being disseminated. This is where, so this is where a lot of people get their news and so forth. And also people are free to, put their own content out there. And so the law has not caught up to that. It's at this point, it's a utility and it cannot be censored. People cannot be banned. People can't be deplatformed. Because this is where everyone's talking. And our laws just haven't caught up. So I understand that sticky subject of TikTok and the ban and stuff. And what I appreciate is that as Donald Trump learned more and thought more about it, he changed his mind. I was like, good on you. I did not like it. When the ban was happening, I thought to myself, why in the world did people take this idea and actually follow through with it? Like, I don't even know what the right or left votes were. I don't care. I just know that it was passed and it shouldn't have been. Like, I don't understand how it got that far. And, but I think it's funny that he he decides, well, you know what? No, there's a better way, and we're going to figure it out. But then they take the idea and run with it and act like champions. It's like he just left money on the table and you took it. You took it and pissed off millions of people. And here's what's great: this week or last week, whenever the ban happened, I tried to get on TikTok, and here's this message. You saw it. I'm sure you saw it.
I'm not on Tickety Talk, but I saw the people posting the screenshots.
I posted a screenshot and I said, I cannot laugh hard enough at this. Now, what's crazy, the reason I stopped around 2020, late 2020, I stopped posting any kind of controversial stuff because even the people who I know vote the same way I kind of do, even they would miss my point. And so, perfect example, someone hops on and she wasn't mad, but she was like, hey, now, some of us, a lot of people depend on that for income, and people are, content creators and whatnot. And I said, and I had to clarify, I'm not happy about the ban. I'm not laughing at the ban. I don't like the ban. I said, I'm laughing at the message because the message said, no fear, worry not, folks. Donald Trump is on this way. I mean, it's as if you could see an image of him with a Superman cape coming to save the world.
With his hair flapping in the wind.
Oh my God.
Is that the cape or his hair?
I couldn't laugh hard enough. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, I just thought it was so funny because I knew it's stuff like that, just normal. Him being his normal self makes everybody's,
Oh, yeah. I just picture that gif where he's got like the mint in his mouth and he points.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites now.
Yes. And so, but something like that is like over the top. And I laughed so hard because I just knew what it was doing to people. Like the meltdown.
Oh, God. They were losing their minds.
Oh, my God. But speaking of children and the kiddie table and binary thinking, another common thread of the great cope of 2025, that's what I'm calling it, is the most remedial understanding of the United States of America by like wannabe thought leaders and like wannabe experts of the world's tiniest armchair.
Are you suggesting that the education system has failed us?
I am. I am suggesting that.
I would agree.
It's like, thank you, but no, I don't need some bite-sized history lesson from some random wine mom's blog post that you shared about the Constitution.
That like just put a visual in my head. A wine mom. I love it.
Or the oh-so-educational memes about how our government works. Mm-hmm. Like, Josh gets really hooked on those, and he'll show them to me, and I'm like, dude, honey, that's not true. Or check your sources, that's not true. It's cute. He looks to me like, should I believe this or not? It sounds good, but is it, is it true? And so I pose a challenge to these people, to these armchair experts. Challenge, any of you able to tell me without looking it up, put the phone down. What is a primary source? Just let that stew. What is a primary source?
What's the thing that Ross does on Friends where he goes, challenge, not accepted, but what's he say when he initiates the challenge? Remember when they do the switching the apartments game?
Oh, right.
And then after they accept the challenge, he goes, challenge accepted.
I don't remember, but that's my challenge to you. What is a primary source? Think about it. Go back to grade school and remember the first time you were assigned a research paper and you learned about sources. Primary, secondary.
They're like rolling their eyes and like, what that is? Yeah. I gotta go. Hey, I gotta go.
No, or they'll go, yeah, I went to the primary source. I saw the video. I saw what he said. And it's like, oh, did you see 10 seconds after they cut the video? The Fine People hoax. That's probably the biggest.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, aside from the Russia hoax, the Fine People hoax. Do you know how many people? I would love for someone to spend the time and money gathering this intel. I would love to know how many people who have spent their lives identifying as a Democrat or even a progressive, how many of those people flipped and voted in 2024 for Donald Trump because starting with the Fine People hoax. You know, the whole walk away movement. Have you heard of that? Mm-mm. Okay, that's been, he was actually one of the J6ers who was just there, like so many of them.
Yeah.
And, but Brandon I'm going to get his last name wrong. Straka. He's a gay, leftist, and was just total meltdown when Donald Trump won in 2016, believed all the hype. But then when he found out about the Fine People comments, I mean, just as recently as a couple weeks ago, Obama repeated it in a speech. Biden, in the 2020 debate, said that's why he decided to run, because of the Fine People comments. And I'll never forget it, because I stood up from my bed and I said, "You son of a bitch," because I knew he was lying, and I knew he knew he was lying.
Yeah.
And the commentators didn't push back on it at all, and they knew it was a lie.
Of course not.
But if for anyone who hasn't been open, like if your eyes haven't been open to the Fine People, it's been debunked recently by Snopes. But it's that there are very fine people on both sides of the Charlottesville riots, or not riots, but protests.
Yep.
And that's where it cuts off, and that's what everyone saw. But the next 10 seconds of that video, 10, 15 seconds, he says, he clarifies, I'm not talking about the white supremacist, Nazi, whatever. He said, those people should be condemned totally.
Oh, I know. I've seen the full.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That flipped a lot of people. I think that was one of the things that flipped Elon Musk. I follow a lot of people, a lot of public figures on Twitter who... a lot of people have started with that, and then they go down a rabbit hole and see everything they've been lied to about. And it's just like a truth bomb.
Opens it up.
So anyway, primary source is important. Someone's interpretation of what he said and did, or someone's clever video editing, is not. And so I think more people should go to primary source and think for themselves, and not have someone, regurgitate what it means.
I think some people are afraid of what they'll find out.
You think so? Mm-hmm. Continue.
I just mean, like, they know if they go to the primary source and really try to, like, make sense of it, like real sense of it, they're afraid that they're going to be wrong and their side is going to be invalidated.
The most recent one, just this week, Elon gives this great speech, so much energy. That dude's so excited. Mm-hmm. He puts his hand on his heart. Now he's what you call neurodivergent.
I was going to say he's got some
autism,
a scotch of autism.
He puts his hand on his heart at the end of the speech.
I saw it.
And like throws his arm out to the audience and says, "My heart goes out to you." But they captured that moment and called it a Nazi salute, and now everyone's hair is on fire. And I just sometimes I stop and read the comment sections of these
I do
posts.
that too,
because I'm curious. I want to read the room, and I see people over and over again saying, "Oh, they just don't see it. They refuse to see it," and I'm like, "You refuse to see it.
Yeah.
No, you are committed to seeing Nazis around every corner."
There's a scientific term for that. It's like you see what you want to see, kind of thing. And I think they want us to see that, and they know damn well that's not what he was doing,
right?
But they want that to believe that, or they want to see that.
When I hear bad things, and I've done this from the start because I didn't want to be fooled. It was such a mind fuck for me in 2015 that, like, it was entertaining during the primaries. I got a real kick out of it. I didn't take it seriously. But when he became our candidate, I was like, oh, shit. Like, I knew I wasn't voting for Hillary. Like, that was a non...
Hell no. Hail to the
not with a gun to my head.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if I was going to... I was like, oh, shit, we're really doing this. Like, this is really happening.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided I gotta figure out what's real about this guy. I mean, we've known about him our whole life. He's been in the news. Everybody knows who he is. We know his baggage, his dirty laundry. But the things that were being said about him didn't mesh with what I was seeing for myself. And so I looked into everything. I was like bound and determined. Like, I'm not going to vote for a Nazi. I'm not going to vote for a racist. I'm not going to vote, So I had to just keep watching, keep listening. And it was hard to adjust. I think that's the best word for it. Was that hard for you to adjust? Like, this is really happening. Never in my wildest imagination would I have predicted that one day in our lifetime we'd be voting for Donald J. Trump for president.
Well, it wasn't hard for me, no.
It wasn't hard, but I did have to adjust because he broke all the rules.
Well, I thought you asked me if it was hard for me to adjust.
Oh.
Maybe you didn't ask it that way, but it wasn't.
It wasn't? Mm-mm. You didn't have that moment of, this is really happening?
Oh, I mean, I had that, but I wasn't, there wasn't anything difficult mentally about that for me to support it.
But I mean, like, just the basics. Like, he's breaking all the rules. He's saying he's unfiltered. Politicians are not like that.
But I yearned for that.
That's my point. There was that moment of adjustment, like, I can't believe this is happening. And then there was that period of, this is exactly what we've been missing. Dear God, no more empty fucking suits. No more lifelong, generational, like, handed down, like, family and then father and then son, and you've done nothing, you've created nothing, you've hired no one, you've fired no one, you've accomplished nothing except collecting our fucking money and spending it on yourself. And I was so ready to have somebody real, and I wanted somebody who was going to say exactly what was on his mind, for better or worse. And I wanted somebody to point to the media and say to their face, you are fake. And it's not like he convinced us. We're not, like some cult. Like, fake news was fake news long before he ever made it a thing.
Yeah, he was just calling it out.
He was just calling it out. Nobody had. Yeah. So he was saying what a lot of us had been thinking for a long time. And the way it was getting interpreted and spun and then spit back out to the universe was just so twisted and so anyway, it was difficult, but it really taught me a lesson about going back to my roots as a good student and a teacher, the importance of primary sourcing. And I just don't think enough people, first of all, rely on that anymore. That's a shame.
That sounds very reasonable, Mary Beth, and you put a lot of thought into that. I appreciate you.
I would also ask them to tell me this. What was the fundamental principle that guided the drafting of the Constitution? And what about it sets us apart from every other country that ever existed? And why does it matter? Without looking it up, what was the guiding principle?
Now, are you posing these challenging questions because you've heard them say otherwise, or just in general, you're just challenging their overall understanding of it?
I'm challenging their overall understanding of what makes us different.
Okay.
And why that matters. When you hear people say, America's the last beacon of hope. When you hear people say, if America falls, the world falls. When you hear people say, there is nowhere else to go. This is what they're talking about. This is why they say that. And if you can't answer that question, you don't understand how important it is to preserve and how delicate it is. It could be gone in a generation if people stop remembering that fundamental principle, that guiding principle of our country, that no government gives you rights. Your rights exist because you exist, and no government can give them or take them away from you. And we're going to create a government based on that principle because people, human nature, we are susceptible to corruption, to greed, and all the rest. Man is fallen, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what sets us apart. And if we don't protect that, and I feel like there is a real gap in understanding from the left, as far as I can tell, who seem to want the government to come in and give and take away and give and take away. The right wants to be left the fuck alone. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah. 1,000%. Yes, I would agree.
And so, but the narrative is that the right is fascist, authoritarian. He jokes about being a dictator. I had a conversation last year with a coworker. We were having lunch together, and she doesn't like him, but she's not insane. So we have a good relationship, and I love her to bits. And we just had a brief conversation about, I think we were at a work meeting. He had just been arrested. I had made his mugshot my screensaver on my phone.
I do remember that.
And I was showing people at work. And so that's what started the conversation about because a lot of people thought that this is the end. Like, they tried to turn January 6th into their own new 9/11, and that didn't work. And then they tried to arrest, they arrested him. It was unprecedented, historic. Everything about this man from 2015 has been historic.
Yep.
Good and bad. And so a lot of people just thought, and I think even on the right, people on the right were saying, we need to find another candidate. It's not going to be him, whatever. He's done. He's done. She said that she truly was worried that he would be a dictator. And I said, yeah, but I said, girl, he was already president and that didn't happen. So why do you say that? And she goes, well, maybe he just didn't have time. I know.
Aww.
I know. Exactly. I mean, we moved on, but inside I thought, how sad that she really believes that. Anyway.
Yeah, and that's just one person. You think about how many people that aren't sounds like she's pretty reasonable.
She is.
Practical.
Right.
Gosh, that's scary to think about.
But they truly believe that it will happen. And like we said earlier in the episode, we don't kind of relate to that kind of like irrational fear.
No.
But now, what I was going to say is when I was posing those questions, about primary source and the guiding principle of our Constitution, I don't think that question can be answered by a lot of these people. And these, by the way, are the same people who will tell you with a straight face that Antifa is an anti-fascist group because, their name literally means anti-fascist. It's like, oh, thank God you cleared that up for me. Oof. What a relief. I was very confused.
Yeah, I would have never unjumbled that.
And it's like, okay. Let me tell you something about persuasion, if you don't know. And revolutions. Have you ever heard Rules for Radicals, kids? You know that name was purposeful, and it's meant to confuse people. It's meant to mislead people about what they're actually doing. What they're actually doing is the opposite of fighting fascism. I'm just going to throw that out there. But anyway, these are the same people who can look at a name and go, duh.
Yeah. Antifa's a bunch of nerds. I just want to throw that out there.
I think most of them are like blue-haired, middle-class, wealthy.
Yeah, they're nerds.
Or upper middle-class kids with nothing to do and no purpose.
They had the anarchy patch on their backpack.
Right.
Yeah, they're nerds.
Okay, so now the good news is that social media, it's fun to make fun of. Social media isn't real life. But I know good and well that if I ran into any of these people, they'd be friendly, yada, yada. Oh, because I know her. I know she's not evil. Well, you're more than happy to post aggressions online from a safe distance, right? Knowing full well who your audience is. And side note, I'm among the most offensive of audience members because I don't even claim the right anymore. And I don't hide behind that safety net of the weak-kneed conservative disclaimer that makes me want to puke. Well, I don't agree with everything he says, but I don't even hide behind that. And a lot of people do. I'm not a Republican.
Yeah, that's just don't get mad at me.
I'm not a Republican. I'm MAGA. We are not the same. I'm worse. Much worse. Right? So the point is, they know who they're talking to. So you want me to take you seriously? Because when you say serious shit, I take you seriously. Point is, though, rant is not relationship. Mm-hmm. It's not even real, right? It's just a moment. It's momentary. And we're all more than our moments online. But there is one exception before we go to break. There's one exception that I know of personally that really surprised and disappointed me this week, or this past week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I suppose Mom told you about the text she got?
No. Mm-mm.
Dude. Okay. You'll understand the irony of me wanting to protect this person's identity so as not to embarrass them once I tell you what she said.
Okay.
Mom received a text out of the blue during inauguration week. Mm-hmm. Weird thing is, this used to be our neighbor for many years. Great relationship. We played with their kids.
Okay.
And I don't want to say any more than that because
Gotcha.
people who know us can figure it out.
I got you.
But once they moved, we really didn't see them. It's been years since she's spoken to or seen this woman. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't even follow her on Facebook. So Mom doesn't know what triggered this text. She thinks maybe she saw me on TikTok supporting President Trump. But out of the blue, years not seeing her talking to, she gets a text from this woman. And the text says simply this: "You are an embarrassment to me. Goodbye." That's all. Can you believe that shit?
Well, yeah, I can, actually.
That is unhinged, unreal, unhealthy. And I'll close with this. That is why the left lost.
1,000,000%. That's exactly why. Exactly why. And all I've heard the last 2 weeks are, Bill Maher. You're not a sports person, but Stephen
Smith is. Okay. I know he's making.
I mean, they're just flat out saying, "Look, you guys, I'm still on this side, but you got to cut the shit out. Like, basically, just cut the shit."
They're telling them exactly why they lost.
This is exactly why. You can say it was this, or this, but it was not that, or that. It was.
You would think that if you woke up one morning, the morning after Election Day, and someone you truly thought was an existential threat to democracy won, your world would be shattered. Your worldview would be shattered. And you'd think, why did this happen? How did this happen? Are people really as evil as I think? You would think that there would be some real introspection and reflection. You would think that people would try to learn why that happened. There's been no effort.
No, they almost doubled down on it.
They doubled down.
But like I said, they've cornered themselves into the way they think about certain identity politics.
You have to toe the party line. If you're not in lockstep, you're out of the club.
Right.
I mean, what we said about Joe and Mika, the backlash they got just for going over there and just saying, like, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, and then they had to get on their show and do damage control.
Right.
It's like they have to explain themselves for just having, like, normal conversations with people. They are also the party that bitches and complains about not reaching out across the aisle. And then when their people do, they just get
there are a lot
obliterated for it.
There are a lot of LGBT pins going around that you can buy, like says "I'm a safe person." And after the election, I saw a lot of the memes with the hate didn't win. Yeah. Don't let hate win. And I swear to God, I have seen multiple times in comment sections people who are losing their minds admitting to their hatred, using the word hate and hatred, using the word rage to describe how they feel. And these are the people who lecture us over and over about how much our side hates. So you can go to hell.
Yeah.
With that kind of talk.
Yeah. Peace and equality.
But there's been they've doubled down. You're exactly right. And I'm equal parts frustrated with that because I want there to be more.
Please keep doing it. Please keep that. Please.
Then I'm like,
hey,
no.
Go on with your bad selves.
I've really enjoyed the winning.
Yeah, let's keep doing that.
Let's keep winning.
Yeah, so whoever your strategists are, just keep doing that.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's why you lost. And if you don't want to see that and reflect on it a little bit.
Yeah, sincerely, please and thank you.
Thank you so much. At any rate, the cope is back.
Yeah,
That's
well, I really do hate to hear that about the text to mom.
Right?
It's childish.
It's unhinged.
It's irrational. It's embarrassing the other way.
Exactly. I'm going to die of secondhand embarrassment. And that's another thing. Like I said, the cope is strong, which is weird because it's showing so much weakness. You know what? A little shame is good. So,
Right.
like, if you feel that way, why would you get on social media and constantly let the world know how frightened you are?
I mean, grow a pair, for God's sakes.
Where's your resilience,
Yeah.
Gen Xers?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna assume this person probably doesn't listen to our podcast. But if you do, if you're out there, feel free to hit me up, message me. I would love to have a conversation with you. I would love to have an adult conversation with you.
I crave those, but they can't happen.
I will calmly and intelligently tell you that you're wrong. And I will,
and we'll have a beer.
yeah, and I will have a beer, and I will tell you to have the best day.
It's back. It's right on cue. Poking fun of it publicly is the only victory lap I think I'm gonna take for a couple of reasons. Although I just want to say again, it's been an amazing week, and it was a long time coming, and it's been the most glorious fuck you in American political history. The comeback is amazing.
I'm giddy.
Are you feeling me?
Yeah, you are not an embarrassment, Mary Beth. Sorry.
Okay, so here's why I will only take this victory lap, and then I'll shut up about it. I'll try to, but we got 4 years, so I don't know what's going to happen.
I hate running, but I'll take an extra.
Oh, and for the record,
Hey,
I'll eat my
running.
words if he turns out to be everything he said.
For
he
sure.
is.
I hate running, but I'll take a couple of victory laps with you.
Yeah. All right. So first of all, a sore loser is bad. A sore winner is worse,
Oh yeah.
and I don't want to be a sore winner.
Yeah, don't do that.
2, I don't want to make light of anyone's pain or suffering, no matter how irrational their fear, might be. And I'm only talking about the very short list of people in my life who are losing their minds right now. I care about their pain. If you've spent the last several years calling me a fascist, a Nazi, a racist, a grandma killer, someone actually called me that, an idiot, someone actually called me that. Yeah, I don't care about your pain. In fact, I delight very much in your pain.
Yeah, you got to revel in that one.
Yeah, they can go to hell. And 3, this time around, I'm going to tune out the tantrum and fully enjoy it. Like, I will not be on Facebook at all as much as I can help it. Like I said, I can't help but clear notifications, but I'm going to fully enjoy it this time because I tell you, the first time around was tough for me because I was so confused by the narrative versus my reality, and they weren't meshing. And I was like, hold on, people. Like, people I cared about, people I respected, people I admired. It started to become suddenly, overnight, controversial to be patriotic, to show the flag, to say, go Trump. Wait a minute. We've always been on different sides. Mm-hmm. Why is it so different now? I was concerned about the divide and how people were losing it. And I was like, come on, y'all, we need to take it down a notch, right?
Right.
Because I really cared. But since they've done nothing to understand why they lost, I'm going to ignore it this time and say, enjoy your misery while I enjoy the winning.
So you're saying they had what I like to call pleasant person deductions? They were having points deducted from their pleasant person status. They were pleasant for a while, then this happened, and then they got unpleasant, and you're like, I'm deducting points from you.
No, I just mean...
I know, I'm just being silly.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't being serious, but you meet people that you think they're pleasant people, but then they get unhinged. They start saying ridiculous stuff.
Well, I had real sympathy.
You lost points.
I had real sympathy.
I get that
in the beginning.
I get that, but
because what I was seeing, I was like, whoa, people, you calm down. Like, everything's okay. Like, I didn't understand the rage and the misinterpretations and I didn't get it, and I was concerned about it. And now I'm just going to let them.
You're gonna do the Leo DiCaprio with the tux with the little martini glass
Yes,
and just
I'm going to let them cry
little,
themselves
little
out.
wink at them, and then that's what I would do.
Cry themselves out.
I would reply that way every single time. I wouldn't say any words. I just would reply that way every time.
And I'm going to fully enjoy it this time.
Yeah.
So I think this will be it for my victory lap. And hey, to be fair, stick around for the second half after we take a quick break, because we're going to make fun of the right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, we're back.
We are back. Hello.
All right,
Mary
I want to remind
Beth.
everybody, you can text us by clicking on the link above our show notes, or you can email us at thebestofgenx@gmail.com. I want to bring up our next episode coming up, so it's going to be the Sunday before Valentine's Day. And we're going to try something different. We're asking our listeners to please reach out to us.
Reach out and touch someone.
Text us or send us an email. Reach out to us and let us know. Oh, you can also find us on Facebook, The Best of Gen X. Reach out to us. Let us know what you think is a great romantic comedy or love story movie that not enough people know about, old or new, that you'd like us to watch and review for the next episode. We're asking for your request.
It's a great idea, and we tend to get some involvement, engagement from you guys. So
I'm really interested to
Yeah.
see what rolls in.
I can't wait.
But we will watch whatever you tell us to watch.
Participate in what we're doing.
Engagement.
Yeah. No, I've been pretty happy so far with that, by the way.
Yeah, me too. It's really cool. Really cool. Can I call you out for a second? Before we get...
Hey, I guess.
So, this is... My brother, I fear, is getting worse than me. So, about a month ago, I guess, several weeks ago, I was here. We were getting ready to record. I had some stray hairs that I was shedding on my sweater.
Some fibers.
And I picked them off my sweater and I just sort of put them on the floor. And Joe goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "What?" I said, "Oh, I had some hair on my sweater." He goes, "Put it in the garbage." I was like, "Really? Really? Really?"
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, so when I came over today, I felt like I had to warn him that, hey, when you lose close to 70 pounds in a short amount of time, you'll lose your hair. I'm still gorgeous. I'm not bald, but it just happens.
You do have a beautiful full head of flowing locks.
But I can tell that it's thinner and I'm shedding a lot. And, when you take a shower and you're shampooing your hair, just more comes out. And that's just a side effect of rapid weight loss. And so, I came over today, I was like, because it's getting worse. And I was like, bro, I need to tell you that this is going to, you just have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Still hard. Still hard.
I bet.
If I see a stray hair just randomly, just haphazardly, like flowing onto my floor, I'm like, what are you doing? What's happening?
Okay, Monica.
What's happening?
All right,
Mary
so
Beth.
you're going to take this one over.
Yes.
Tell us what we're talking about.
Well, so if you've listened to us before, you know that we had a really fun episode a couple months ago with our children's.
It was so fun.
And it wasn't insults, but it was Gen Z slang. Okay? And it was, if you recall, it was sort of like a quiz. Mm-hmm. It was like a game show almost, where they would give us words or phrases, and we had to guess what they meant. I got most of them wrong, which is ironic because I coach high school basketball. So maybe the boys are saying stuff different. I don't know. But the idea came about to say, you know what? Me and Mary Beth haven't really talked about Gen X slang. Again, slang. Words that we used as part of our culture, as part of our generation back in the 80s, 90s, that we heard in school, heard on movies, heard on TV shows, and it just became everyday speak.
Right.
And, some of these words I'm going to throw at you, and I can explain any of them if you'd like, but I hadn't heard some of these words in years.
And here's what's funny.
Certainly never used them, or not never, certainly haven't used them in years.
Now, when you posed this idea, I had thought about it for a minute, and nothing came to mind.
which is mind blowing.
Why?
Just because, like, we had our own special language
I know.
as Gen Xers.
I know.
And you're going to hear some of these and be like, and you're going to you're going to do this. You're going to smack your head on.
Facepalm?
Yeah, you're going to smack your hand on your forehead and be like, why did I forget that?
Well,
Why did I forget that exists?
I told you, I was like, yeah, that's cool. You're going to have to take the reins because nothing is coming to mind. But it's because I've never been cool.
Well, you have. That's true. Facts. I mean, listen, we can agree that Generation X are the OGs of whatever culture.
Yeah.
Right? So
Oh, perfect.
we're sort of like the middle child of generations, Gen X.
Mm-hmm. Maybe nothing came to mind. Hold on. Maybe nothing came to mind because I still use it as my normal language and it doesn't seem like slang to me.
That's fair.
We'll see.
But we'll see.
But here's what I'd like to do.
I doubt it.
I'd like to take whatever slang terms you throw at me.
Are you going to throw a twist?
I'm going to throw a twist because I promised unity and equality. So I'm going to make fun of some people on the right from this past week, just to be fair. And I'm going to try to apply some of those slang terms to my analysis of the inauguration.
Saucy.
I'll try.
I like that
I'll
twist.
do my best.
I like that twist. You're entering a no spin zone. Yeah. So, you and I grew up in the time of mixtapes and MTV and the rise of personal computers. And these were the, latchkey kids that we had talked about, our generation, who had sort of like balanced a world before the internet with the early digital age. So we've talked about all that. Now I'm just going to hit you with, I think these reflect sort of a mix, like our generation reflects sort of a mix of rebellion and a meh attitude.
Yeah.
Which I love. So these words, you ready?
I think so, Zach.
Okay. And now some of these are going to be simple. So they're not going to be, some of these you've probably used even recently, but some of them are going to bring you back.
Now, how many do you
They're going to
have?
bring you back in the DeLorean. Listen, yo, I have all you can handle, bro.
Okay.
But we'll keep it reasonable, okay? And I might skip over a few to get to really good ones.
Okay.
Because, hey, that's what I do.
Okay.
Okay, the first one. Chill pill.
Oh, right.
Telling someone to calm down. Take a chill pill. You're stressing too much. Okay?
All right.
This one's simple. Dude. Like our generation really, if you think about it, really started like using dude to kind of identify men and women.
Yes.
Like, dude. Like it just became
I was just going to say,
like, what are you thinking? Dude.
my husband and I call each other dude.
Right. So, and I laughed at that. It's like you could literally use that for anyone.
And sometimes I'll say to Josh, oh, I know, girl, I know.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I have literally seen two women our age, like they were talking about a movie and they go, dude, you have to see this movie. It's
Yeah.
just like a universal.
Good one.
But yeah, like you didn't hear the baby boomer saying dude. We kind of invented that.
Right.
All right. Diss.
To
put someone down.
Let me diss for a minute. So Inauguration Day, just a visual. I mean, he's a showman. I mean, it's what he's known for. One of the things he's known for is being a showman. So many things to look at and pay attention to. So many things happening. Let me diss. The Trumps looked like the royal family. Like, who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah, Melania had that real.
Yeah, but all of them just collectively, like from the church and then to the Capitol, like, who do you think you are, Camelot? I mean, in your fine clothing, looking every hair in place, perfect.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, diss.
Nice diss, Mary Beth.
Diss.
Now, if I wanted to describe, or you wanted to describe something that was intense or impressive, Mary Beth, we would say gnarly.
Dude, Carrie Underwood is gnarly.
Carrie Underwood is totes gnarly.
Let me just say, American Idol indeed.
She's beautiful. She's just a beautiful human being.
Right. And very talented. And she comes out there with so much poise. And I'm going to diss the new administration because you just gave a speech promising all this crap. And you can't get the fucking music to play for Miss Carrie Underwood.
We trust you with anything
Can't
else.
trust you. I can't trust anything you just said.
Nice diss.
Can't get the
Mary Beth.
damn music to start.
diss.
But she was gnarly because she just, like a pro, started the song and everybody sang along. And it was a beautiful moment. She turned a terrible disaster. Fail.
Mary Beth, God must have spent a little more time on her.
Trump fail.
Okay. Cool beans.
Oh my God.
Just a quirky way to say something's cool.
Yeah. Cool beans.
All right. Do you have something you would like to add to that, Mary Elizabeth?
I was thinking, yeah, cool beans. This seems like a perfect compliment for the first caretaker. I'm sorry, the first lady.
The first caretaker. What is this, hospice?
I mean, she shuffled Joe
Are you saying
out
our
there.
podcast episode is dying? I shouldn't say that. That's bad.
No, the first
bad.
caretaker, Jill Biden.
Okay. Oh, so you were being serious.
She wore a poorly fitted dress, but the color was cool beans. I really loved the brilliant shade of indigo. It did not fit her well, but it was a beautiful color that visually I thought was cool beans.
Mary Beth, you're so much cooler than me. You really are cool. Give yourself some more credit.
Okay.
All right. Whatever. So I'd already kind of jokingly said that in my second half segment intro.
Whatever.
But that's the go-to word for not giving up.
Can we also
a
take
flop.
credit for whatevs? Whatevs.
I think so. I think so.
That may be a zennial.
Yeah, maybe. But maybe. But
I still say that all the time.
whatevs. Yeah, because I don't
Whatevs.
think we necessarily said that back in our day.
Well,
But we started it. We initiated it.
I think we say it in our house because Sheldon says it in that episode where he's having all this anxiety, and so he's talking in his sleep, and he has a dream about just being chill, laid back, whatevs.
That show was amazing.
The show is my life.
That was the first time I'd ever heard "What in the fresh hell" when Sheldon said that. And
What in the fresh
yeah,
hell?
so I started using that like on Twitter.
I love
what
that
in the
one.
fresh hell are we even looking at?
I love saying that as like in my trucker voice. What the hell?
What the hell? Our dad does that, by the way. Ready? I've used this word. Why do I always ask you if you're ready? Like you're going to tell me, like in the middle of an episode, you're going to be like, no,
I
wait.
love it. It's one of your things. I love it.
Okay, I have
And another thing you do all the time that I love is when you get the giggles, and you're going, like in between your giggles, you're going, wait, and that's cute.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you think that is. I hate it. Okay, I use this in the first segment, the word rad, short for radical,
Radical.
meaning something cool. That surf session was rad. My daughter is rad. She's very much, in fact, rad. Okay?
Okay.
Hella.
Hella, I like that one.
And that's really just used for emphasis.
You know what?
That pizza was hella good.
That hat was hella statement.
Oh, Melania. Back to Melania.
Let me just say, I mean, what's this woman? What are you trying to do, girl? I mean, I'll never forget her first inauguration dress. Just looked very Jackie O, very beautiful. But what's with the fuck around find out hat? I mean, she had this look like I'm going to make a statement with my outfit, and that statement's going to be, you raided my home. You got my bank to drop me and refuse services to my son. Your Hitler talk nearly got my husband killed and left my son without a father. Come at me again and then go straight to hell.
Yeah, that was a total FAF.
That was a look. That was a look, man.
Do you think she really likes him physically?
I think,
Hey, be real.
well, I mean, I've seen some early interviews with them when they were both younger,
They
and
seem playful and stuff.
they were, 20 years ago. And yeah. And so, I think so. And
curious.
when you grow old with someone, you tend to see them the way they used to be.
Yeah.
I think Donald Trump used to be
That's fair.
pretty nice looking.
No, that's fair.
I'll get to his hair in a minute, but
Yeah, that's fair. No,
but man, that Fafo hat,
that's faithful.
that was serious.
She's fire, by the way.
Oh wait, we're insulting.
She makes me want to go kill myself.
Wait, what was the slang that we just applied to her?
Hella.
That was a hella statement.
Yeah.
that
Gross.
that was hella fafo.
Yeah, for some reason that's my go-to. We talk about like making fun. I'm like, that's gross.
Yeah, and we mean to say it was a bad thing. Bad, Melania. Bad.
Yeah. Horrible. All right, this one I loved. Loved. To the max.
To the max.
You remember what that means? I can help you if you don't.
I think so.
Okay, well, tell me what you think it means.
To the max. Like you couldn't feel any more about something.
Yeah, you're taking something to the limit, to its limit.
Yeah.
Like we partied to the max last night.
Hey, Fetterman dressed to the max.
He's committed to the Carhartt.
That dude brought his Sunday best. Like, look, we know because we are progressive people that representation is very important.
Totally.
So at the inauguration, I loved seeing people who represented me. And I thank Fetterman for bringing in his Sunday best, his best Carhartt and shorts. I appreciate someone who looks like me.
Right.
And along with that, props to Vice President Kamala Harris because her Soma loungewear looked just like me when I'm out running errands. The perfect errands outfit with all the zippers and pockets. You don't even need a purse. Like she came to the Soma lounge, and I'm here for it,
Yeah,
man.
amen, sister. I think Fetterman looked like he was going to buy.
She looked cozy rosy.
Yeah, Fetterman looked like he was going out on a nice little calm Saturday, going to buy some mulch.
Right.
But instead, he took a detour. He took his Bronco, took a detour.
And he looked better than anyone.
That's right.
Except for Kamala Harris and her loungewear.
Okay, here's another good one. Lame.
Lame. Okay. Lame.
I can go on if you like.
No, yeah, you can go on.
Yuppie.
Yuppie.
You know what the YUP stands for? I was today years old when I found this out.
I thought it meant...
Makes sense.
I thought it meant yep.
Yuppie.
Or yup.
Okay, so for listeners that aren't
I know what a yuppie
fully
is.
right, you and I do, but for people that aren't, it's sort of like a career obsessed wealthy person, right?
Yeah.
The best well, it wasn't really an explanation, but Dad called this out when we were younger. We were watching Christmas Vacation as kids.
Yes.
And Julia
Exactly.
Louis-Dreyfus and her husband had like the steel, like the little briefcases, and they had the really wealthy
everything's
looking
in place.
Everything's about their job and super
Labels.
serious. And Dad goes, bunch of yuppies.
Yes.
That's the first time I had ever heard it. And I was like, oh, but I associated
Rest of my life.
their visual, like their image.
Same.
But the YUP apparently, now this is what I read. It stands for Young Urban Professional. Never knew that.
All right.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what I read.
Well, the Trumps look like a bunch of yuppies.
Yeah, what a bunch of yuppies.
I hate when people look nice.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate when they look like...
Such a turnoff.
I hate when everything's like tailored perfect.
Right.
Okay, homie.
Homie.
Yeah, my homie's got my back.
Okay.
Trippin'. Now, Mary Beth, that's when we're at. Some people that were on your book of faces, they were tripping.
Tripping hard.
They were acting crazy or irrational. They were
Tripping hard.
Why are you
And
tripping?
tripping hard. I love that. I miss that. I'm going to use that.
Okay.
From now on, tripping.
It's actually a fun word to kind of say.
Yeah. The very people who've been tripping, warning us about the dangerous new administration, handed the keys over without a fuss. So proving that all it takes to ensure a peaceful transfer of power to a dictator is afternoon tea. They stopped tripping.
So
I thought that was amazing.
They did stop tripping.
They stopped tripping. I just handed the keys over to Hitler. It was so nice. Such a, modeling good behavior. But it makes me wonder. I'm scratching my head. Were they lying to us then?
I don't know, but I've got a really delicious one for this next. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Psych.
Psych.
Now, Mary Beth.
Hey, I got a perfect one for
Now,
that.
Mary Beth, let's be real. Back in the day,
Back in the day.
if somebody said something to you, because this is usually used after you're fooling someone, right? So if somebody said, "You really thought I was serious?" Psych. I mean, that was like, that went through you.
Yeah. Or nice shirt, man. Psych.
You got all excited. And sometimes if they would say it around a group of people, you're like, man, I just got owned. Like, I feel like I just got owned.
If a prank were a word, it'd be psych.
I mean, psych hurt.
It hurt. But here's something then. My favorite part about Inauguration Day was Donald Trump's hair. Psych. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, a lot of things about Donald Trump, because it was unprecedented in 2015 when I told you about that you have to adjust and throw all your prior rules about what's, quote, presidential out the window. And I didn't care. I didn't care about any of those things. I didn't care how he looked. Like, I didn't care if he said the wrong thing. I wanted all those things. The only thing I wished for, I thought, man, now that he's president, maybe somebody in his circle, somebody in his orbit surely will tell him it's time to do something about the hair. And it didn't happen. It's the only thing about him I wanted to change. Nothing else, just the hair. You know what? This was his first term. He and Melania were standing out in like a windy, rainy field where the Navy and the Army, they play that big football game. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The football game. What are you asking me?
Like when the military plays against each other.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were on the field during the national anthem.
Okay.
And so it's spitting rain a little bit and it's windy. And for the first time in my life, I saw the wind pick his hair up off his forehead and blow it backwards. And I always assumed he was doing a comb over for a reason. But the wind moved his hair and revealed the most beautiful, healthy hairline. I was like, dude, why are you
doing that to yourself?
Why are you doing that to yourself? It's the most impeachable thing about him. Perhaps the only impeachable thing about him.
I do love how you're talking about that game. And I was like, is she asking me if it's called a football field? Like, what is she asking me? You're like, that field.
The game.
Okay,
whatever
yeah.
it's like called something. I don't know.
Is it called like the Military Bowl or something like that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I should know that. But,
I know, we should know that.
that's so funny. I think he's at the point now where he kind of like, it's like his
it's his thing.
It's his thing.
Yeah. And I've seen the tanning thing I don't quite understand, but I've seen articles where people were caught, like news institutions were caught literally like making him orange on their covers, on their on the TV.
They act like that's like
they were trying to color correct and make him look more orange than he is.
It's like a gotcha thing. It's
like, I know.
They call him Orange Cheeto, and I want to go.
It's like psych.
Yeah, they call him Orange Cheeto. I want to go. Good one? Question mark. Yeah, his hair. Have you ever seen Kingpin with Bill Murray and
No.
Woody Harrelson? It was like
I know what it is.
It was like a barely mid-90s movie.
Oh yeah, I worked at Blockbuster.
Gotcha.
Bro.
Yeah. You're right. But yeah, he's got like Big Ern.
Big Ern.
He's got Ernie McCracken hair. So funny. If you've seen that movie, it'll make sense. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Gag me with a spoon.
Oh, I should have said that about his hair.
You should have. You should have been patient. Psych. Yeah, you just use that when something's gross. Ugh, that outfit. Gag me with a spoon. As if.
I love that one.
Now, where did that become?
Clueless. That was my senior year.
Yeah, that became legendary. But it was used to express disbelief.
Right. Or never gonna happen.
This is one that you would have never heard from the baby boomers. Homeboy/homegirl.
I never felt allowed to use that one.
Yeah, I never felt comfortable using it.
I don't want to have a race conversation.
Right. Yeah,
I don't think we were allowed to use that.
Yeah,
you had to have security clearance to use that word.
I never thought I really sounded cool even trying to say it. Crib.
Oh, yeah, same.
Cool. Yeah, same. See word above.
Same rule applies.
A cool way of referring to your house. Yo. A casual greeting. Mm-hmm. No duh.
Oh, yeah.
No duh. Bodacious.
Oh, I remember that one. Bodacious.
You said that with such like...
An objectifying term about women looking bodacious.
Ooh, here's a good one. Mary Beth, if I want to give you a clever or harsh insult, just burns you.
Burn. That's probably my favorite.
Burn. Who burned?
One of my favorite lines from Big Bang Theory, and if you haven't watched the show, please do. What are you waiting for? Is when they're sitting in the office waiting to get a patent for their invention, and they make fun of Sheldon for wearing a bow tie. And so to get back at Howard Wolowitz for the insult, Sheldon says, "You're an engineer. End of joke. Burn." He's so...
Oh, that movie is amazing.
That show.
Sorry, jeez. My bad. Jeez.
You getting tired, honey?
No, show. Sheldon Cooper and Dwight Schrute are two of my favorite characters of all time.
Hands down.
Not even close.
Hands down.
Okay. Sorry, were you going to say something else?
No.
Okay, Boss.
Oh.
If something is really cool or impressive, man, that's Boss.
Boss.
That car is really Boss.
Yeah.
Poser. You have to have one on that.
I do.
Okay, hit me with it.
Well, a poser is someone that I mentioned earlier who hates God, doesn't believe in God, but then says he's praying for my soul. Quit being a poser.
Hey, nailed it.
Nailed it.
Poser.
Donald Trump is Hitler adjacent, so he's being a poser as the leader of democracy and our republic and all that stuff. He's a poser.
Elon Musk is like sending rockets to space. What a poser.
He's a dictator in disguise.
He's trying to be like 60s NASA. Get over yourself.
Hey, you know
Homeboy.
what? Wouldn't it be okay? It wouldn't be funny. Why would I start this statement like that? It would not be funny. But wouldn't it be strange if months from now, a couple years from now, this episode did not age well, and we're under a dictator regime?
Yeah. Sorry. Hey, I'll just apologize in advance.
I don't mean to laugh,
Yeah.
but hey, we will own it.
We're into time travel too, so we just came back and said sorry.
We will own it if it happens.
Mary Beth, if I said the word scarf, normally you would think of
A scarf.
a scarf. But in our generation, that meant you were devouring food fast.
Oh, to scarf it down.
I'm going to scarf down that pizza.
Oh, gosh. Years.
Years.
Been
yes.
years.
And the last one that I had that I use to this day, spaz.
Yeah.
And I even add to it. So it's like if somebody's on coordinator, in my opinion, it's if they're in coordinator or they're doing something kind of silly. Man, quit being a spaz.
I always thought it as weirdo.
Yeah.
Or quit spazzing out.
If you look on the net, it's like somebody that's like, who's uncoordinated, but I took it as like silly, weird, doing something stupid. Like, quit being a spaz. Man.
Right.
Like, you're being annoying.
Yeah, everybody on Facebook right now is spazzing out hard.
But I added to that to add some sizzle, and I'll say, you're being spaztastic. Because you know what?
Yes.
Because I'm cool and I can do that.
I love adding tastic to the end of words.
Yeah. So,
I do.
so I for some reason I love saying that. I'm like, in our basketball team. Speaking of, okay, our basketball team, somebody will do something that annoys me, and I'll be like, he's being spaztastic right now. What I have recently learned from our players, they, if you do something or if somebody's bad at something, okay. I hate to even say this word this way, but like, you know how when somebody would say, "Oh, they're so ass," like they're ass. That means you're bad at something.
No, I've never.
Yeah,
like AS,
yeah,
as
like ASS, like he's
ass.
like bad at something. I don't know why they like associate like if he's ass at doing that.
They say that now.
Yes,
Their words don't make any sense.
I know, but where I was going with that was they've even added on to that.
Okay.
Now I'll hear my players say this. We'll be talking about another player from another school, and they'll be like, "That dude's cheeks."
Is that the clean version of their
That's
ass?
the clean version.
I'm gonna steal it.
Yeah, that's cheeks.
And it just means what? That they're just being.
But they're bad at something. Like
They're bad at
yeah.
something. They're not being an
So,
asshole.
no,
They're bad at something.
Yes, like they're a bad basketball player.
Okay, look,
He's
I
so
cannot
ass.
reconcile these slang terms for Gen Z
Yeah,
and
but-
what they mean
yeah,
at all.
But the cheeks thing gets me every time now. That I hear it.
Cheeks.
Like I'll hear them say that. They will say it so softly and casually to each other, like it's just like they're just saying hello.
Yeah.
But the way like this one kid said it in a layup line, and I freaking just lost it. I died because
Look.
I knew exactly what he meant. I knew exactly what he meant.
That's That's funny. And I could apply, I'll close with this, my final insult to the right.
And he added, bro. Hey, he's cheeks, bro.
Hey, I'll tell you who's cheeks. That Barron Trump kid. Look, who do you think you are, 6'9"? What the hell makes you think
Gigantor.
you can just become a giant in a couple of years?
Looks like he's on stilts.
Right? And doesn't say anything, but has a real strange aura of strength about him, quiet strength. And
I think I'm afraid of him.
I'm afraid of him. And he stood up at the crowd at the convention where they had Inauguration Day. That man did more in 24 hours than Joe Biden has done in 4 years. And it amazed me. So I will compliment him on that. And he along with all the other events, he had this, like, basically a rally. And then he brought a desk to sign executive orders in front of 20,000 people. Like, so what a spaz.
Yeah.
But Barron.
What a hoser.
Yeah, what a poser. And Barron is just, he's cheeks, man. I mean, he stands up and everyone applauds. And then he puts his hand to his ear, just like with a real quiet smile. And the crowd just erupts. Because he's not very expressive. You know, we don't hear from him a lot. And so, yeah, cheeks, man. Quit acting so boss.
Yeah, that gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Quit acting boss.
Yeah, gross.
He's not going anywhere.
No. He's like the only child I'm afraid of. And I'm a grown-ass man.
I think in a few years, we're going to find his laptop.
Yeah. I'll vote for him. Just because he looks intimidating.
You know what?
Hey, just because he looks intimidating.
Let's close with this. I want to make my, just as a loving gesture, just to remind my leftist friends how much I adore you. And this is all in fun. We win, we lose, we have fun with it. I'll just close with this. Just so you have more to cope with. Barron Trump 2040.
Mark your calendars.
Right.
Ooh, I'm going to apply to be his campaign. Oh, I'll be dead. No, I won't be dead. I'll be close.
Barron Trump 2040, folks.
Yeah, but I might run for president.
I'm going to make sure it happens.
I'll run against him.
Remember how much they flipped out? Remember before he was deplatformed on Twitter? Remember when Trump tweeted he retweeted somebody who made this like video, this GIF or GIF.
I think it's GIF because it stands for graphic something.
Right, but the creator says it's GIF, which is weird. Anyway,
he could be wrong.
But it was where it just showed Trump and it just showed the years going by, like he's still president and he was going to be president forever. People lost their shit. Like, the left has no sense of humor at all.
Hey, I know we said we were going to end this, but
I know.
We were in a group chat and I'm sure that somebody's serious about this, but somebody's like seeking out like legislation for a third term.
I saw that.
And that circulated on Twitter. And
God.
I swear to you, I've never laughed so hard
It made
because
me
the
laugh
the reactions were just epic. It was like otherworldly, the reactions were.
I don't think that's a good idea at all, but it's hilarious.
Oh my Jesus. Some of the funny shit I've read.
You got to have fun.
Yeah.
You got to have fun. Hey, we were on our best behavior for 4 years. We took it like the resilient Gen Xers that we are. And now it's time to have a little fun.
I mean, now we're dancing in the streets.
Now we're dancing. Before the regime takes over and rules our lives.
That's right.
All right. I had a lot of fun having this discussion with you. I really did.
Yeah, same.
Good times.
Ditto. Hey, that's another slang.
Ditto. Well, thank you so much for listening to another piece of the Gen X experience worth saving. Our resilience, it's what we know best, and it's once again been immortalized in the annals of history. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the Best of Gen X wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Joe, always a pleasure.
Duh.
No duh.